Freaking out, man. You can't handle the truth. You can't handle the truth.
What do all men with power want? More power.
My name is Gianluca Zanna. I was an Italian by birth, and I became an American by choice. Our lives and freedoms are in danger. This is not a drill. If you're listening to this broadcasting, you are the resistance.
All systems go.
Welcome to Love, Guns, and Freedom.
We're not afraid.
Here we go, guys and girls. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna on K-Talks 1340 AM and on United States to the FM network. I always forget, there is also a new station, the sister station, 104.1 FM. I guess I got it right. Anyway, bottom line, I'm back. I'm here. Sunday, another show. You know, when I started the show was about freedom. It is about freedom. First of all, it's freedom of speech. You are welcome here to talk about anything you want. Always, of course, in the topics that normally I touch, okay? If you want to talk about Kardashian or football, wrong station, at least wrong show. But anything else, when it comes down to individual freedoms, rights, this republic, gun rights, love, of course, you're more than welcome. Now, the beautiful thing about here that nobody's going to shut you down. Even if I agree or not, doesn't matter, okay? This is the idea, is the forum. But when sometimes, you know, we talk about something very specific, very emotional, okay? We've been here duped for 8 years. We've been destroyed by a beast called Obama. And Obama wasn't alone. Don't get me wrong, you know. I mean, that's why I burned my Republican Party card a few years ago, because unfortunately, the Republicans, they're in bed with these Democrats doing orgies while we all getting screwed here. No, they do all this wrestling match show. They think they're conservative and they are Democrats, liberal. They're all the same. You see any difference between a McCain and a Schumer? No. They all work for the same corporations. Bottom line is the establishment. Bottom line, they're working for global government. And Bush was following the agenda of the one before, and of course, Obama increased the agenda. And now finally we thought, hey, we have a break. We have a regular guy. Not really regular, this guy, you know, is a billionaire. But the point is, for a moment we thought that we had a chance. You know, for me it was even about that, because, you know, I always question Trump. I played on the air, I was probably one of the first one to play the video that was very well compiled about all the different positions that he had during the years, about gun controls, about abortion, things like that, immigration. But still, you know, I could not allow to have a devil like Hillary Clinton, that for me she should be facing a trial, start with that, to become the next president, because it's like almost, you know, a survival mode. You know that you have a bleeding artery, and what you're gonna put? You're gonna put you need to stop the bleeding. And now all I have is probably some crap. I don't care. Yes, I'm gonna get an infection, but at least I need to stop this bleeding. And that's what was after 8 years of Obama and facing 4 more years of Hillary. So Trump, it was really genuinely the only little hope we had. And I said, you know, we gotta give him a chance because we have no other chances. But I never was naive, that's for sure. And I always like when people out there, you know, like the guest I'm gonna bring you now, we are always here not following the man, but we follow the ideals. We don't worship anybody. This is supposed to be a republic, not a kingdom. Or when, you know, the theocracy, like the Pope, we're supposed to bow down, no matter what he says, we're supposed to say, yes, Lord. Screw you. That's my attitude. Screw every man, every woman who does not respect the supreme law of the land that is called the United States Constitution and Bill of Rights. Let's start with that. And I don't care if you like me or not. I'm not here to have friends. I don't get on this show to become popular. I could not care less. The only reason why I'm here, because I think I have the moral obligation as an American, as a human being, and also as a new American who took an oath to say what I really think is true, at least according to the facts that I have. And for me, the important thing is when I see a danger to our republic and to our constitution, I must scream and I must tell you what I think. This is my job. But more important, I have today a guest that I respect a lot. I met her years ago when she was probably one of the pioneers, at least here in Arizona, in the fight against illegal immigration. And she's a veteran. And she's somebody that I like very much because she does not shut up, especially when she knows that she's saying the truth. And it's so easy, at the beginning, you try to say a warn your fellow Americans, they all throw rocks at you. Because you think, after all, you're disturbing their illusion. But at the end of the day, you do what you have to do. Her name is Michelle DallaCroce from Phoenix. Michelle, are you there?
Yes, I am. Hi, Luca.
All right, my friend. Thank you very much for coming back. You've already been on my show several times. At least we talk about several things. Today, the topic is about President Trump. I know that you supported him, you help him out, you really put a lot of effort during the election, and you're always there, try to do your best in your community. And I see the last probably, few weeks maybe, different Facebook posts from you. You are trying to warn, our fellow Americans, I don't care if they're Republicans, independents, or whatever, that we are not exactly getting what was promised. Can you please articulate exactly what's going on with President Trump according to your brain?
Well, it's very obvious that I'm very thrilled to be on your show because this is one of the best radio shows because you tell the truth. So I want to thank you for having me on your show again.
Thank you.
And you're a great host, and you're a great friend, so thank you very much. So getting onto the topic of your show today for Donald Trump, a lot of people are waking up because they're questioning Donald Trump's comments that he made early on when it came to immigration issues. And that's my forte, as like you said, you've known me for over a decade, dealing with fighting in the streets of illegal immigration issues from Phoenix to the East Coast, the West Coast, North and South, and to the border. And we know Donald Trump, he used an issue that we all fought for, and it was not his as he says, it's a movement. He claims a movement. And I personally, and I know there are others like me who have been leaders in the movement that he calls basically his movement that he created. And it's not his movement. And I'm taking claim back for the people because it's our movement. And it was a movement that many of us over 10 years ago, and even before I got into it, people like, Terry Anderson, which I know you remember, he had his great radio show before he passed away, and other people basically in California who were the real pioneers because California was hit first, obviously, because Arizona and New Mexico and Canada with immigration issues. For over the last 25 to 50 years, it was hitting those states, but because there was no mass communication, the internet or Facebook or iPhones where you had video or face news travels so quickly now that more people within the last 10 years were able to communicate the dangers and the atrocities and the deaths that were occurring because of illegal immigration, that prior to that, most people, say on the East Coast or North Dakota, they didn't know. They didn't know what was really going on. And I remember going to the border one time to Cochise County when I first started the group that I started, which was Mothers Against Illegal Aliens, which I am the president and founder of. We started in a rally in Cochise County, and one of the residents there had told me, she goes, you know what comes through us actually is what the people in North Dakota and the rest of the country should fear, but they don't even care, because even though it's coming through the border and it's affecting those communities terribly, those people go through such atrocities and property damage and all sorts of stuff, but they do say, it tramples through the Southwest, but everything that's coming through Cochise County, coming through Pinal County, Maricopa County, up through Phoenix, it's disseminated throughout the whole United States. And when people think, we only have a few borders we don't have a few borders. We have 50 borders because each state is a border state. People don't realize that. And these issues that Donald Trump was talking about, he claimed as though they were his own and he was bringing light to them, when in actuality, people like me and you and many others that we know that I'm sure that have been on your show, we worked our asses off. We put our heart and soul, our money, our blood, sweat, and tears, our time. We have devoted so much time. This has not been a pastime, and this hasn't been something that we just did for the fun of it. We did it because we were devoted to it as patriots of the United States of America, and many people voted for Donald Trump because he took an issue that we were fighting, and we felt that we were going to give him a chance. Like you said, we were going to give the man a chance. Although, let me just clarify something. I have never been a true staunch crazy supporter of Donald Trump. I supported him, but I have always been first and foremost a leader in my movement of illegal immigration as the president and founder of Mothers Against Illegal Aliens, and I looked at him through that lens. I always looked at him through that lens and no other lens. I didn't look at him as just a voter, and I didn't put down my hat as a leader in this movement to be crazy in love with Donald Trump, because this issue has been too important, and we've put our lives on the line for this movement. And I wanted to make sure that this candidate was going to be a true candidate and a truthful candidate. And I have questions about him from the very beginning in July of 2015, because he came out talking about a merit system, if you recall.
Yeah.
And I questioned that. And that was my first red flag about Donald Trump. Although, like you said, what was the alternative when you looked at the very end result? It was him or Hillary Clinton. And then some of the other candidates obviously weren't even really hard on the issues that I wanted that were important to us. So Donald Trump was our guy, if you will, and we were hoping that he could be informed or educated along the way, because many people looked at Donald Trump and they still make excuses. People who are still hanging on to Donald Trump now, their excuses are usually a few. Either they'll say give him more time, or they'll say he's learning, or they'll say that he's got the swamp against him, or they'll say that he doesn't have all his candidates, his cabinet not in place. These are all excuses.
Let me ask you.
Let me comments and the decisions. Excuse me?
No, let me stop you 1 second. This is important. I'm glad you're saying all these things. The point is this one here. First of all, what I really don't like here, when people, you cannot even have a conversation. Like you are talking to zombies that they're on some special drugs, that if you touch their messiah, don't you dare to criticize anything about him. That's for me the most, the sad thing that could happen in America. Because, this is no difference when we have Mussolini in Italy or Hitler in Germany. Don't you dare to question the Führer. Don't you dare to question.
That's right.
No, this is wrong. We're in America. No, we can have a conversation. And honestly, especially when you try to bring facts, because, I'm not trying, even when it was Obama that I was calling him names, I always bring facts, okay? I don't like just to go out there. Even that would be no problem. But here we're trying to have a logical, very reasonable conversation showing evidence that something is not right. So as Americans, we should be concerned. Now, exactly, what did I have my own opinions and my facts. What exactly President Trump, when it started to fail you as a constituent, as a voter, as an American, when it started to, from the first week that he jumped into office, when did you lose him, or when did he lose you? What did he do?
Well, I was very concerned once he was nominated as the president, and then in December of last year, when he started changing his tone about the DACA recipients, which is the deferred action, for childhood arrivals. And those are not children, as we all know. For your listeners, they're adults. We're talking about adults. These are not babies. These are not children. And all of these DACA recipients, they actually are citizens of another country, and they know it. So it's not as though that they're homeless or they're orphans or they don't have a country. But yet, during his campaign, we have video that, he's stating that he was going to rescind DACA and he was going to send them and deport them, and he'd arranged to have them come back legally. That was what he ran on. But once he was elected, and even prior to the election, he was on Sean Hannity, and it was actually, for me, I just thought it was pitiful. He had the family members of victims of illegal alien crime sitting behind him with Sean Hannity on the stage. And in front of these family members, he was talking about being lenient and possibly, letting those that were good people stay in the United States, which was not his tone during the election. He was very much about deporting illegal aliens, securing the border, and following the law. He started changing once he got Kellyanne Conway in as his campaign manager. He began to get a softer tone. And then in December, he talked about the DACA members and said that he was going to make everybody happy. He was going to work something out and everybody would be happy. These were clear indications that things were going south. And then once he was inaugurated in, about a month after that, he then gets on the news and starts talking about the DACA kids, saying that it's a difficult decision dealing with this issue, that he loves these kids. He talks about his pure love for the DACA. I mean, he doesn't even know these people from what the public knows, but here he loves these children. And he says, and the thing that troubled me the most was he said that it was a very difficult thing to do what was right because of the way the law was written. It was very difficult for him, the way the law was. And that's terribly disturbing coming from the President of the United States, talking about those who are illegally in the United States, who he promised he was going to deport and rescind an executive order that during his election he called Obama's executive amnesties. Quote, he called those executive orders for DACA executive amnesties of Obama. Yet today, that executive amnesty of Obama still stands. Donald Trump has not rescinded it. He has not even suspended the application process for them.
Wow.
So they are being applied by 1,000 per day.
Wow.
And those that have had it continue to be able to renew it for an additional 2 years. So he's right now an amnesty president, whether people like it or not. But I'd like to go back and hit a point that you just said real quick, because it's really important, and it's true, that the biggest part about talking to people who are Trump supporters is you cannot even have a logical discussion with those that are Trump supporters. And I'm talking about even people I know that know me that voted for Donald Trump. It gets to the core of how I feel that I just did an interview for Politico that they quoted me on, that I said, could this have been the most elaborate reality show that was perpetrated on the United States of America people, and that this is just an illusion in order for him to get elected using our movement of illegal immigration, and yet also pulling on the heartstrings of patriots, true patriot people of America who are truly in their heart wanting to believe the best. But unfortunately, I think that they're going down a rabbit hole because it doesn't look good. And the thing is these people cannot even have a logical conversation without attacking their own friends and even unfriending their own friends.
Yeah.
And it's very, very sad because normally I can have conversations that I do with liberals and Democrats and logical people who feel those, who categorize themselves in those directions because they're at least willing to have a logical conversation on both sides. But in this case, Donald Trump's people, and, I hate to say that because, you heard these stories during the election on the news. You heard the Trump supporters beating up people and being bullies. And I never really got into that because I never got into the rallies that came towards the latter end that got violent. But I am seeing a similarity to that with those that even leaders in the movement like myself, and I've got other people that are leaders that have been around before Donald Trump ever came around, we're bringing up facts and things that we're seeing as red flags, and we are being literally attacked without even the people who are listening us even realizing that we've got stuff under our belts. We've got, we've got legitimate time on our side and legitimate actions that we can produce, that we have been in this movement fighting this, that we have some substance to bring. We've got skin in the game, and it means nothing.
Michelle, let me ask you something. This is important because, first of all, it is very disturbing when I see this cult of personalities, okay? After all, these people are supposed to be public servants, not gods, okay? They're treating them like gods. When I go on Facebook, and I don't care who is your man, if it's Obama or Trump or whatever, Bush, I stand behind him no matter what. I mean, really. I mean, what are you crazy? I mean, what type of drink Kool-Aid are you drinking here? These people, first of all, they are human beings. They are public servants. People forget that, okay? But more important, as I said, now we look at the evidence. I'm trying to look at this from a scientific point of view. Before the elections, I was very concerned, and I play a few times the video that I don't know exactly who produced it, but was very well done. I might play it again. That show Trump during the years, how he felt about illegal immigration, how he felt the idea that he would never going to deport the poor children from illegal aliens, okay? That was on the record. So I always said, you know what, it's going to be interesting how this is going to end up. Because now he said during the election, I changed my mind, I'm another person, even when it comes down to gun rights, we have to see it. Now, so I never had really high hope, but now we start to see, according to the things that we know and things that you just mentioned, they are facts, by the way, everybody can check it out. Now there is no more excuse. He's the president. He can get some gasoline, not even get another executive order. All he has to do is get some gasoline and some matches and burn what Obama wrote as executive orders when it comes down to the amnesty, and just move on in probably 5 minutes. No, It's still there. So these are the serious things. He does a good show and comes down to other issues that at least, need to give us some potatoes once in a while, some meat. But when it comes to the real issues here, there's still no action. There is still no action. Now, what I'm really concerned here, the fact that all these Republicans, they call themselves, conservative, they're getting to a new age of almost, it reminds me stories that I heard from my grandfather. And that's what I really think when I see now the plan. After all, nothing happens by accident. Hillary, right now, supposedly, she's supposed to face trial because we know very well, everybody knows in this country around the world that she broke so many laws, and now there is no more excuse. Trump as the new attorney general, why Hillary is still walking around. That's another important point that I'm very concerned. But more important now, we see the plan. Now, Trump can get away with all the things Obama was getting away and much more. I'm very concerned with the fact that we know very well now a man called the president can just have, access to unlimited power of military industrial complex that we have, start to drop bombs and missiles to any country that doesn't like it with any excuse, and drag us in World War III or World War IV without any type of any more constitutional boundaries that normally we know very well that the Constitution states only Congress can declare war. And you see this zombie out there say, after all, this is not a war. Or really, what if they drop 50 bombs in Texas or 50 bombs in Phoenix? Where would you go? Like a love declaration? Would you not go to war? The only reason why Syria cannot go to war to us because they have no resources. But if you hit Russia with 50 bombs, I'm sure it's going to be a declaration of war. So I am concerned about this also. What do you think about this latest change of mind on Syria? Completely change your mind.
Well, the thing is that I just don't, it doesn't settle right with me when I heard that they went and dropped bombs on Syria. And the reason why I say that is not that whatever is going on in Syria is not important, but I don't feel that right now for the United States of America that that's the place where we need to be. And especially Donald Trump, I don't have confidence right now in his decisions. I'm sorry to say. I know he got Gorsuch in as the Supreme Court justice, and I'm very glad about that because watching his interviews, being interviewed by, the Congress prior to being, sworn in, he impressed me tremendously. So that's one good thing I do like. But I don't believe that Donald Trump has his ducks in an order to now get involved in because something's going to happen. We're going to have troops involved, and yet he was elected to take care of specific things like healthcare and immigration and jobs and other things. And you know what? You can only spread yourself so thin. And if we're going to get into another war now, 78 days into his administration, I think it was, when he started dropping bombs on Syria, and as of today, they dropped, they say, the mother load of a bomb that was a non-atomic nuclear bomb. It was not a nuclear bomb, but it was the biggest one that's non-nuclear in Afghanistan. So now we're dropping bombs in Syria. Today I see the news, we're dropping bombs in Afghanistan, and I'm thinking, what the hell is going on? Yeah. When these were not things he was talking about when he was campaigning, and they say, well, okay, the Afghanistan thing that people are supposing it's because we lost a service member there the other day. So what? We lose one service member, and we drop the mother load of a bomb there. I mean, we can't do this. I mean, we lose troops all the time, all over the place, and I don't like losing any of my fellow veterans because I'm an Air Force veteran. I don't like our guys being in danger in the Middle East. That's gone on forever. I mean, yeah, we probably should have bombed the crap out of them to begin with, but the reality is what is he doing? I don't know. And when you got people like John McCain, who's the senator of my state of Arizona, condoning and praising these events, it worries me very much, especially when he was a staunch critic of Donald Trump, and now you see all the people who are Democrats and the Republicans that were against Donald Trump all loving on Donald Trump right now. These things are very, very worrisome. I'm not comfortable with it. So to be honest with you, I'm not comfortable with it. And then again, Donald Trump talks about the love of, obviously the kids for DACA. He loves the kids, and that's an issue. Then he talks about he's seeing video of children dying in Syria. So was this a knee-jerk reaction again because of children? But yet, I don't want a president that's going to keep making decisions because of his feelings about children. Because I want to protect American children, which is why I thought we elected him to protect our American families, because he was all about America first. You know, and you're absolutely right when you say these people are not gods; they're public servants. And you know, everybody's on this Trump train. And a lady that we interviewed not that long ago, and she actually did another one, did a video that I had talked to. Very great. It's the American train. We should be all on the American train, not on any particular person's last name train, because they're only human beings, and they're not gods. And I was not raised in any way, shape, or form to bow down to anyone. It's about integrity, and hopefully our leaders and our politicians have integrity that we can trust those people. But they're only people.
Yeah, let me ask you something. You know, I wasn't in the country, but I studied a little bit American history. When President Reagan was here, you know, at the beginning, it seemed like, you know, for example, he didn't get along at all with Bush father. You know, Mr. Bush. You know, they were completely two different things, and he seemed really like little bit like Donald Trump. He really wanted to do the right things for the American people. Then he got elected. First of all, the first thing really seemed very strange. The secret meeting. He hated so much Bush, but guess what? Bush became his vice president. Right there's something that probably people should ask. What's going on there in Washington, really? Who are really the master puppets behind the scenes who decide all this? Because after all, you know, is the president. You should say, no, I don't want you around. I mean, you are completely the antithesis of what I am. So instead, he was there. But more important, you know, he had all these great ideas. And then at the end, what happened? He got shot. And after he got shot, of course, the reality was that all his administration, at least a huge part of his administration, was all filled by members of the Council of Foreign Relations. And if people out there say, what are you talking about? Let me tell you something. This is not a conspiracy. If people believe that, first of all you have to do read a book. One of our best U.S. senators that we had, Barry Goldwater, he wrote a book with no apology. I invite everybody to read it. And he completely explained what is the Council of Foreign Relations. It is an international organization with the purpose to destroy American sovereignty. So pretty much working for the global government. So what happened? Now President Trump, already has a huge portion of his staffers and administration filled with all members of the Council of Foreign Relations. So right there, we should give us a warning. Now, you remember how he used to talk before the elections, or even just the first couple of weeks, you know, really out of, you know, no reading, nothing, out of his heart. Now, did you see his speech? Did you watch his speech after justifying this bombing in Syria? I mean, that was completely a different person, in my opinion. He was reading, he was acting different. Now, you know, I don't care, and I don't know exactly what's going on there, because, you know, we have all conspiracy ideas, opinions, or maybe theories. My theory could be, number one, best case scenario, they just told him, they show him the video, grass and all, and say, this is what's going to happen to you and your family. Could be. Still, doesn't justify it, because at that point, you are the president, you must lead us. And if we have to clean the swamp, we will do it in any way we can, but you cannot just give in. That would be number one option, but I don't give him a justification for that. Number two could be, he was always part of this scam, and at this point now he's just acting what's supposed to do. And number three, maybe, I don't know. I leave it to you. What do you think? Maybe they brainwash him. I don't know. What do you think really happened?
Nope. My opinion is, I believe it's number two, and I posted this, that I believe that this has been the art of the deal was made before he ever ran for office. Because the art of the deal for Donald Trump was the deal for Donald Trump.
Yeah.
It was not the deal for America. Because the deal for America, if the deal was for America, we would not be struggling. The mothers who are coming out, like Brenda Sparks, who's one of the mothers who met Donald Trump, who's even come out openly to state, and she's in the Political article too, the Political article that just came out today, stating that he promised her to her face that he was going to rescind DACA. He said it numerous times. If the art of the deal was made for America, the mothers like her would not be feeling the feelings they feel right now of betrayal. I would not be out feeling like, as a leader in the movement of illegal immigration, that I feel that there's something really wrong on the landscape. And he wouldn't be making the statements when he first gets elected how much he loves the illegal alien DACA adults. And he has still yet to talk about American children that he loves. And further, we've had a 2-year-old raped by an illegal alien. We've had multiple rapes by girls in high schools recently by illegal aliens. And daily, weekly, we're hearing of rapes by illegal aliens, of living victims of illegal immigration crime. And Donald Trump has not tweeted or come out at all.
Yeah, I
this
understand.
is a movement.
This
is a movement that Donald Trump used for himself.
I agree. At least, honestly, I agree with you. And the sad thing, as I said, all you have to do look at the evidence. People want to find excuses. We can find excuses and excuses. Now, for example, Obamacare, is something that, my opinion, I don't want to replace Obamacare with Rhino Care or with Ryan Care or with Trump Care. I want just to burn Obamacare, because the reality is government should never be in business to do that, because whatever government has been doing, and I give you the practical example. I used to pay, even with our healthcare wasn't perfect, even when the system was still controlled by the government and there was not really a free market. So, the story, health insurance companies, they cannot even sell across the state. So we still had high prices, but still then, before Obamacare, my plan with Humana used to be $129 a month. And it was a decent plan. I don't go to doctors, but for me it was great. 100% coverage. And, I had only $5,000 deductible. I was very happy, or even less. So after Obamacare, now I'm supposed to pay, according to their Affordable Care Act, $620 a month. So my point is this one. There is no more excuse. The illusion must be gone. Obama, Trump, Ryan, Schumer, all these people, they are together in bed. Because now Congress, Senate, the presidency, all they had to do is say, you know what? Even when things they weren't perfect, let's go back the way we were. They have all the numbers to repeal all this. No. Is still there, and people are still somehow losing life, losing money, losing business, and the economy is still suffering because we are draining this money into the socialistic totalitarian system called Affordable Care Act. And the point is, Trump, of course, is just the president after all. He's supposed not even to legislate, but after all, he's just still there with all this Paul Ryan. They're not going to do anything for us. So I have completely confirmation that. That's why I burned my Republican Party. But, I was trying to give him a chance to President Trump. But right now, I have really, besides few issues that we will see with the Second Amendment, how it's going to turn out, I'm disappointed. I'm disgusted. But more important, I'm disgusted with my fellow Americans that they don't even want to have the chance to have an honest conversation when it comes down to issues. And they treat you like you're an evil person just because you bring them the truth. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear the truth because after they need to start to do something. That's what I really think is going on here. Anything else you want to say about are you concerned about World War III here? Because now Trump is going to Korea with an armada, and then of course Russia is pretty disappointed. I mean, think about it. We had the lowest level, according to President Trump, with our relationship with Russia. I thought we were going to do better. This is exactly what.
Well, let me just
go ahead.
Well, Luca, this is the way I see this. I have to look at all of this and realize that I think that this was why Donald Trump was put in, because of the people he's now placing in his cabinet and the people that he's placing closest to him, like his daughter and her husband. And the fact that, we're looking at two issues here. One is, like you said, why can't Trump supporters talk to each other? Why can't we openly discuss this so that we can, help ourselves or help our country? Because it's up to us to try to resolve trying to talk to each other, but everyone's fighting, which I think was the plan. I think that was the ultimate plan, and why I call this the reality show of reality shows that Donald Trump played on the American people. Because the people who are running this country, it's not Donald Trump, obviously we know that. Someone else is running this program, but they needed Donald Trump in there because Hillary wasn't going to be the choice. Nobody wanted Hillary in there, and Donald Trump was the one that they wanted to get in because they wanted him to get all the people to love him so much by turning the media against him, and then they defended him so much that now, even when they hear true news, they deny the true news because they will only hear what comes out of Donald Trump's lips. And if it doesn't come out of Donald Trump's lips, they don't believe it. So they're sitting ducks right now while Donald Trump then surrounds himself now with the people, the very people that wanted Donald Trump to be there, so it would buy them time, that I believe, to get into these wars, to get into these countries and drop these bombs right away. God forbid if I'm true, if I'm right, because what's really happening is his base are sitting ducks waiting and hoping and giving him more time and believing in him the whole time. Well, you know, they'll see a bomb drop, and I see it on the Facebook. They're so thrilled. They're so happy. You know, this is great. But this isn't that great, because this isn't what we were planning and what we voted for Donald Trump to do when he first got into office. Yeah. We have not been attacked. 9/11 didn't happen during his watch. Right now, it's 80 days into his presidency, he's dropped bombs in Syria and now in Afghanistan. It took George Bush up until September 11th of the first year he was inaugurated before we got hit by the United States by ISIS or by Osama bin Laden in New York, and then we went into Afghanistan and then into Iraq. The thing is right now, Donald Trump hasn't even had an attack yet. Yes, we've lost a couple of guys because we've got so many members over in the Middle East, but he's already, let's put it this way. Are we blowing our load before a real hit happens to America? God forbid. I don't know. But the reality is the promises he got elected for, which was to secure our borders, stop illegal immigration, and we currently have rapes of children, and he's remaining silent, but he's out there bombing on what? So I just don't understand. Do I think something bad's going to happen?
Yeah, I don't know. All I know one thing, it's very sad when I know that if it was Obama dropping the bombs, like he's been dropping many bombs. I mean, Obama dropped more bombs than Bush. Think about it. And of course, the Democrats didn't say a word. They were all in silence. Finally, they love war. Then the Republicans during Obama, of course, they were concerned. So after all, this guy is out of control. I mean, he can pretty much do whatever he wants, with all this spring and Arab Springs and Libya and stuff. I mean, completely destabilizing the Middle East. That's pretty much part of the plans of the Council of Foreign Relations and the globalists like McCain, like the Schumer.
Right. But Luca, let me just interrupt you though. So he destabilizes the Middle East. Do you think that they're just going to leave it hanging like that? Hell no. That's why Donald Trump is right in there, because he's continuing on what they're doing. If you look, there's a video on the internet of General Wesley Clark, talking specifically about the fact that Syria is one of the states that they need to take down.
Exactly.
They talk about Libya, and this is in the plans of what's going on. Donald Trump is just going along with the script. Exactly. And the people of the United States are just ignorant to what history. They don't understand politics. They're just so happy that they think Donald Trump is dropping bombs. Oh, this is great. This is great. It's another production, just
Michelle,
like the productions of his campaign.
I try to approach this from this point. Before even we go into the reality of, let's say, these attacks in general towards another country, they're right or not. My point is, if all these conservative people, that they call themselves conservative, constitutionalists, Republicans, whatever you want to say, they really believe in the Constitution, they should go back to the foundation of this country. Article 1, Section 8, Clause 11 of the United States Constitution grants Congress, and Congress only, the power to declare war. That means why that was done. Because differently from other countries, where normally you can have a king or an emperor or whatever, think about how much power a man or a woman could have if arbitrarily, without any type of restrictions, today, let's say, for example, I'm the president of this country and I don't like you on the other side of the world. I think, you could do, I don't like your face. Guess what? I don't need Congress. I'm going to drop a couple bombs on your head today. I mean, that's why this republic was created, that Congress, we the people, have that very, let's say, destructive power to declare war. And, and all these now zombies out there say, guess what? We have all these new laws, and more important, Vietnam, and then Bush, and whatever. Guys, evil doesn't justify new evil. All the evil doesn't justify new evil. I mean, yes, let me tell you, even Vietnam, we got pretty much destroyed in our constitutional right to have Congress declaring war. Since the Korean War, there was no more a war. There was no more declaration of war. The last real war that we declared was the World War II. But doesn't mean now that because we've been bashed and we've been abused all these years, that Trump's supposed to get away with more abuse towards us. The president, it is dangerous. Dropping 50 bombs or one bomb, I don't care, into a sovereign country without any type of danger to us. Syria wasn't doing anything to us. Whatever you want to say, I don't care about the babies. You know, there are a lot of many babies that are dying every day. First of all, in my opinion, that was a false flag. That was all created. Well, that was a real fake news. Whoever is behind did also a bad job. Mike Savage, he did a great show about also as an expert in chemical to show there was all creation. But beside that, even if it was real, it is not the duty of our American president to go after every human being around the planet. We have here a serious problem, as you said. And if you really want to start to drop bombs on some country, you better go to Congress, we the people, we analyze the fact, and you don't have that type of, finger trigger, happy trigger just to start to, because you feel like John Wayne. No. And the sad thing, as you said, all these ignorant people out there made me really sad. Because when I hear these stories about finally a president with some balls or some backbones, guys, some of you never had to kill anybody. Some of you always living fat with a fridge close to you, never had this country occupied and living under an occupation. Your fathers, grandfathers had to go to war. Some of you didn't have to. And I tell you something, even for the one that they are going to war, I feel sorry, guys, because, you've been used. And many of you, I know many veterans, they know the truth. They came back from Afghanistan with the truth. There were no weapons of mass destruction. Saddam Hussein was set up, more important, was created and was used like they use all these puppets. Same story. Now it's about America. And I'm sorry. I feel sorry for the American people. And Trump is just a puppet. I hope maybe there is an hope that he can, I don't know. I have no hopes, honestly, at this point. He's showing his colors.
Well, as you know, I'm an Air Force veteran. And when I go to the VA, I see a lot of these guys coming back. And, you talk about the issues with the VA in general. They talk about the health care and getting the VA together. I just look at this at another angle, too. God forbid we start sending more of our guys over there. We have more people sent home in body bags, men and women. And think about this. What are they going to do? Maybe start a draft? I don't know. And are American people ready to start seeing their daughters and their granddaughters in body bags coming home, blown up in pieces? People need to really think about when they're so excited that bombs are being thrown. And I agree with you. I don't feel that we should have gone into Syria.
But listen, also,
I didn't even know that this was that. I mean, we saw whatever videos, but who knows what's out there? Propaganda videos a day before, and the next day I find out we're dropping bombs. Again, what was his negotiation skills? He says he's a master negotiator. Well, he didn't negotiate anything.
Listen, all I'm saying that if we want to go to war, we at least should follow the Constitution where Congress is responsible for that power. That's the bottom line. Not just one man, not one woman. Because I say, guys out there, today you got Trump, your hero. Tomorrow could be a Hillary, could be a Democrat. You really want to give that power to an individual that you do not trust. That's my point. That's why we're supposed to be a republic, not some sort of a kingdom. But also another thing, I want to tell you something. What I'm really concerned here now, remember, America never has been invaded, besides, of course, by the British and things like that. But we always had the enemies overseas. Now we are facing a new reality in this geopolitical scenario. We have Russia, we have China, especially China, that is the incredible force. I mean, there are 1 billion people there. They have at least 20 million people that can be deployed. And we talk about military occupation, colonization, the war resources, Russia, Korea, North Korea, of course. The point is, when you create the scenario that you lose the moral edge and you give the advantage in front of the eyes of the public opinion to become the bad guy, that means at that point, they declare war on you. And when you lose the war, all you have to look what happened in Germany. They're still occupied. They've been divided. In my opinion, and I hope I'm wrong, this that I see what the plan of the globalists they're trying to do. Obama destroyed our military force the last 8 years. We are now to level pre-World War II. We are very weak. We've been completely abused, and our soldiers, they are completely, a lower number and everything else. Meanwhile, we are losing the moral edge, because when you start to bomb countries that they are none of your business, you don't look good. Meanwhile, we have an incredible coalition of forces against us. I mean, look at Russia allied with China. I mean, and China has all the technology that we had because we gave it to them thanks to the Clinton and other traders, of course. So right now, we could face a scenario that Trump is going to bring us in World War III that we cannot win. And then at the end, what's going to happen? The globalists, finally, they destroy America. Finally, they will have an occupied force with the soldiers on U.S. soil. And that's because we fell in the trap. And I really start to believe you're right. I start to believe Trump, he was probably part of this reality TV show, the final. And I'm sorry because, I voted for him. I'm not shy to say that. And I would do probably again because I wanted to give him at least one chance in a million. That for sure Hillary didn't give me the chance, so I had to try.
Right.
But I want to say to the Democrats out there, don't think that your lady was going to do much better because they're following the same masters. War for war, globalists for globalists. I give you the floor to close, whatever you think.
Well, God help America and God bless America, and I just hope that the people, whoever listens to this, just start talking to your friends, start talking to people. We're the people who are like me talking, we're not against anything. We love our country, and we see some stuff that's really not happening right, and we need to stop fighting each other.
Exactly. My point is I wish I could support President Trump in everything he said, even if we don't agree on some issue, but at least he sticks to the things he said. Okay, now it's a completely 180 degrees direction, and that scares me because it's not just some minor issue. Even if it was to taxation, even things about, for example, intrusion of government, they're pretty bad in corporations, because now it's becoming fascist. But by the way, we're talking about World War III, for God's sake, guys. Some of you, they think they are like Rambo, behind the computer. It's different. There's no reset button. When your life is gone, when the economy is gone, when you go to war and you have faced an invasion, this is not a game. Seriously, guys, don't get...
Luca, one thing, remember, we're not even talking about the fact that we have so many more Middle Easterners that have been brought into this country through Obama.
Yeah.
And we've got so many that are here that I've seen it and I've seen it on the street. I've seen it on Facebook. There are many that have come here that there's no love for America. We've heard of the training camps here on American soil.
Yeah.
Our borders have been left wide open. I mean, when the day comes, we've had events here in the United States already with, terrorist attacks in the United States. What's going to say that we keep continuing this stuff with the Middle East, and we've got the people within our country.
Yeah.
It's here. It's just, if we think that the war is always in another country and it's not going to happen on American soil, people wake the hell up. Wake up. And I'm just going to say, a lot of people that might be listening to your show might not have young kids. I know a lot of people that deal with the schools, the public schools. I've got kids in the public school. They're teaching Islam and the 5 pillars of Islam to our students in the United States of America, and they have been doing it for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
It's gotten into our schools. We can't talk about Christian things. They're taking away Easter. It's not Easter holiday. It's just what is it? April break. They're talking April break. It's not. This is where we're at in America. So if we don't think that World War III or an invasion of the United States can't happen on our shores, look at the American people that are so divided by illegal aliens who are here, who say let them stay and let them not stay. Let them get. We have such a divide. It is a tinderbox. We are in serious trouble. Folks.
And all they need is now an excuse of a crisis. They could be real or false flag, doesn't matter. Because at that point, everybody must shut up and follow and support the commander-in-chief. That's what I'm really afraid. And that's how fascism is born. That's how you create this situation. Listen, Michelle, I really appreciate you because, you're not just a friend, but I respect you as a woman and also as an American because not many people out there, they have the time and the courage to go also and say things where they're not popular. And I like that of you. You don't care like me. I don't care about people things. I tell you what I really think is true, at least according to my heart. So I really want to commend you for that, okay? Please be in touch.
Thank you.
All right, listen, guys. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom. We'll look at Zanna, a little break. Then we go into our number 2. Do not go away. Please understand what I'm trying to do here. I wish President Trump was the man we wanted. Even, of course, the Democrats may hate him. I don't care. I wish, I don't care which politician. I don't like parties. I'm here to completely remind you that I hate all the parties. I am here disgusted with the Republicans as much as with the Democrats because they're all working together. They don't work for the American people. We need to look now into men, into women, into individuals. That's the bottom line. Okay, don't go away. I'll talk to you in a few seconds. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna.
He's a songwriter, a poet, a rifleman.
I'm not afraid.
And a constitutional activist.
I'm not afraid.
Italian by birth.
I'm not afraid.
American by choice. Gianluca Zanna.
I'm not afraid.
And his new CD, Love, Guns, and Freedom. 16 powerful songs on one CD from the heart of a patriot. For download or to order the CD, go to www.lovegunsfreedom.com. That's www.lovegunsfreedom.com. Lyrics for your mind, music for your heart. Gianluca Zanna's new CD, Love, Guns, and Freedom.
Here we go, back into the studio. This is Luca Zanna. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom on K-Talks 1340 AM. Just to let you know, the last few days I've been told by somebody that used to be my Facebook friend that I used to push Trump on you guys. First of all, whatever she says, I don't really care, honestly, at this point. But more important, be clear. Anytime I say something on this show, when I tell you something, I never tell you what to do. I may tell you what I do. And this is it. I don't tell you who to vote for. I don't tell you what to do. I always say, use your brain. I give you my opinion. Simple as that. And talking about Trump, I have no shame, and I tell you, I have no secrets to tell you that first of all, you can listen to some of my first shows. I was always questioning. More important, I was bringing facts, reality, not being naive. I remember I played that audio, of course, of this video. The Trump pretty much is double sides, or at least they change your mind or change your heart on many issues, from gun control to abortion to borders. And I always said, I pray that the new Trump that we see today, it will do at least half of the things he's doing or he's saying. So, still, even I knew that there are great chances that maybe not what we were hoping for. I did what I did, and that was my personal choice. On this show, I want to be clear. I will never tell you. That's why I never endorse any candidate. First of all, I am nobody to endorse anybody. Seriously. All I do, I can tell you what I may do. Sometimes I don't even tell you that. I keep it for myself. That's the bottom line. So, please, before people start to say, oh, you were trying to push on us, I tell you only one thing, though. I said in public, we were facing, and we are still facing, a certain death after 8 years of Obama, and with also our Justice Scalia gone. To have Hillary Clinton in office, that would have been the complete, immediate death of this republic. Imagine now the new Supreme Justice Court, Justice. Just right there, this country would have been gone. Second Amendment, we would be to a new level of, really started to be ready for civil war. So the point is, that was like you have a complete bleeding in one of the biggest artery of your body, and you're dying probably in 30 seconds if you don't put something on top, as I said. And Trump was the only thing we had a chance to put on it. Let's be honest, as much as I like libertarians. By the way, the last two candidates from the Libertarian Party, they were a joke, complete joke. We want to talk about the vice president position on gun control, the assault weapon. It don't even make me laugh. So the point is, regardless, it was a waste of a vote completely. And we had to stop that loaded train that was called Hillary Clinton. Now, is Trump part of the same train? Probably. The same time, we were giving him a chance. Even if just one, we had to, in my opinion. At least I had to. You don't have to. I have a lot of friends, they even didn't vote. And probably they were right. Probably there was no change. We still look at this foreign policy. We are still here. Continue the agenda of Obama. Obama was continuing the agenda of Bush. And that's the agenda of the globalists, of the Council of Foreign Relations. Let's look, for example, at the past, as I said. The Reagan administration, Reagan started with some good ideas, and he said that it was going to be completely the man of the people, at least different from all this establishment. Then bang, he was forced to have Vice President Bush, who they were pretty much, he was part of the CFR. And more important, in all his cabinet, he had to somehow, miraculously, he had all these members of the Council of Foreign Relations. So you see the story, that's the point. So I don't know really how we can save this republic now. If this man was somehow at least an attempt, that's all I can say. It was an attempt. Now, I'm really concerned about World War III. That's the reality. That's for me the most important issue right now, because yes, taxes is important. Yes, the economy is important. Yes, Obamacare is important. But the point here, if we go to World War III, everything's going to be pretty much useless. That's the reality. And as I said, I really believe the scenario we are facing is being set up. It's like some sort of chess game started a long time ago. Remember, America is not more the America we used to have militarily. We've been depleted, we've been exhausted, our technology has been sold and given away. We are in an inferior position. Now all we have to do is to be in a moral inferior position. They will provoke war. And when you are morally, let's say, in the bad corner, and you look like the bad guy, and you start a war, then when you lose a war, you lose it all. That's my fear. And that's, I think, what the globalists have prepared for us. We were going to face Russia, China, Korea. And I said there is this TV series I really invite people to watch for free on YouTube. It's called America with a K. Go on YouTube, put America with a K, and put TV series. It was made in the 80s. This TV series is pretty much scary, depressing, but very well done. So much that there was a lot of pressure by the United Nations and by Russia to remove it. I think it was a CBS, on CBS network. There were some famous actors like Robert Urich and Chris Christopherson. I really invite you to watch this because that talks about exactly all the things we are facing. The balkanization of America, America under occupation by Russians and the United Nations. Everything, you know, from Common Core to youth brigades and, of course, Agenda 21. I mean, this is scary stuff. So listen, guys, that's what I'm saying. And if you don't like what I say, you don't have to listen to me. And when somebody blocks me on Facebook, please stop writing me emails. Okay, after all, you block me. You sound like an idiot. Seriously. You keep writing me and writing me. If you block me, why you do that? Life is short. Enjoy it. I have no hard feeling with anybody. Seriously, guys. If you don't like my political positions, that's fine. We don't need to be married, okay? I mean, let's just be civil and move on. I don't have hate for anybody. I want you well. I just want to be left alone in peace, okay? If you don't like what I say, enjoy your life. Anyway, ready for our number 2. We have a great guest, great information. This is coming from a Democrat, a real Democrat that I think is an American first, more important. I don't think it's true. He understands the importance of the Second Amendment. And we will articulate together some very sad news, what happened recently in San Bernardino County in California with these terrible gun-free zones in the school. Okay, do not go away. You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna. Ciao.
You're listening to Love, Guns, and Freedom with Luca Zanna on United States.FM Network.